Hello world, my name is Scott, or as I affectionately call myself, the bitter old queen. I'm not a therapist or a political scientist. My comments and suggestions are anecdotal only, okay? This list is also in the video description, okay? If you want to cut and paste it. So here we go, effing go, okay? So let's start with nationalizing healthcare, okay? Next, no pay for Congress if the government shuts down, and no interruptions to the rest of us. We need to stop the lobbyists in Congress. And we need to also grant women full bodily autonomy and full rights, including equal pay. Okay, next, no more money for Israel. They have national health care and abortion on demand. Okay, until we have national health care and abortion rights back, I don't think Israel should get one thin dime. So we need to redistrict nationwide and do it fairly. Okay, we need to rewrite the Constitution. We need to take out all the stuff about slavery and all that kind of stuff and put in full rights for everyone. Okay, we also need to take back the legal system and reform the bar. Ugh. Anyway, there needs to be age and term limits on all government offices. Okay, we need to get rid of the presidential pardon. Okay, everything has to be written down now. There are no norms left anymore, people. Okay, we need to expand the Supreme Court with 9 more seats, all women of color. How about that? Okay, we need to revamp the Senate. It's not democratic, it's minority rule. They should be an advisory board only. Um, we need to abolish the Electoral College. Some people call that slave math because it's left over from the days of slavery, and it should have died along with slavery and racism. Okay, we need to stop the lying on Capitol Hill. Okay, one lie should be cause for the rep or senator to be removed from office immediately. Okay, no more. And the same for the media too. Okay, you want to get on TV and lie, you never get to go back. Okay, we need to set up some kind of a task force to sue Fox News and the other crazy networks out of business. They are nothing but walls of lies. Okay, next, we need to tear down every Confederate memorial and rename everything after people of color. Okay, we need to raise the minimum wage by $1 per quarter. Okay, that would be one of the biggest economic booms we would ever have in our country if we were to do something like that. Okay, we need to reform our immigration system. We need to have $10 a day childcare max, and then it's based on your income. If you can only afford $1 a day, you pay $1 a day. Okay, we need an all-out war on childhood poverty. We need to equalize and improve our educational system all the way from preschool all the way through college. Okay. We need to properly fund public transportation in cities. We need to identify and eliminate the most environmentally damaging cars, trucks, planes at all. Okay. We the reason I say that is because 90% of the pollution is caused by like 10% of the worst running vehicles on the road. We need better testing to identify gifted and college-bound students. And we also, on the other hand, we need more vocational training. And we need to restore prestige to the trades and care work. There is nothing wrong with trades and care work. Example, garbage men. Okay? They are more important than doctors. I can go months without seeing my doctor, but I can't go months without them coming by here and picking up the garbage. Okay? They are just as important, if not more important than doctors. Okay? We need to make that stupid prayer breakfast in Washington toxic. If you're not in your office working for your constituents, you shouldn't be pandering to some religious organization, especially the organization that throws that stupid prayer breakfast. Okay, we need to make Puerto Rico and DC states. Okay, no more red state ripoff. If your red state can't make it on its own, too bad. You don't get to pick our pockets while you shake your finger at us and tell us what degenerates we are. Okay? If we're not good enough, then our money's not good enough. Okay? We need to have free school lunches nationwide. We spend a fortune on education. What's another 2 or 3% to make sure every child has food in their stomach? There are 330 million people in this country. There is not going to be a small government. So anyone who says small government, grow up. Okay? We need to make racism a mental illness. Okay? Psychiatrists need to change it in the DSM. And then we need to start uh, putting people in mental institutions because you're sick if you think that someone is less than you because of the color of their skin. You belong in a mental hospital. Okay? We need to stop the billionaires and the corporations. Okay? We can take them down one at a time, starting with the first offenders. Okay, we need more support for small businesses and small farms. Okay, we need to nationalize our oil supply like Norway has, where there's a wealth fund that profits from the oil from this country go in to take care of us in our future and our old age. Okay, our goal in this country should be to use 10% less oil a year. Okay, and phase out coal within 5 years. We need to promote electric cars. It's the future. Get over it. Renewables and electricity are the future. Right now, by trying to prop up the fossil fuel industry, you might as well have been trying to prop up the buggy whip industry in 1920. Okay? It's not going to be around. They're going to be a thing of the past. Okay? We need to have government sponsored solar farms. We need to address the military industrial complex in the Pentagon. They can't account for 50% of the money. Well, let's take 50% of it and let's make solar panels and not bombs. Okay? Let's have a jobs programs for renewables. Okay? Also, we have designed our world to be car dependent, and that needs to change. We need some major redesign. Okay, we need better forest and fisheries management via a new conservation corps like there was in the past. And there are plenty of educated people ready and willing to go to take those jobs, and plenty of people that need jobs. Okay, this would be a huge boon to the economy. Next go round. Anyone who wants to run for president, we need 20 years of your taxes and a complete background check as if you were going to for a job at IBM or a Fortune 500 company. Anything in that background check that disqualifies you from working at a company like IBM should disqualify you from working for the government. Okay? And also, if you're convicted of financial crimes, or if you have a history of weaponizing the legal system and have, like one of our presidents, okay, you should not be allowed to run if this is what you do. How you make your money is by not paying your bills by taking everybody to court. Okay. We need no more contact with crazy countries. If you don't have equal rights for everyone, we should have as little contact with these countries as possible. Okay? We need to revamp our food system. No plastics and toxins in our food and no GMOs. Our politicians have sold us out on this one. We all have a credit card worth at least of plastic floating around in our bodies. Thank you, politicians. Okay. We need to phase out ethanol. 50% of the corn grown in this country goes into gas tanks. That is pure stupidity, people. Pure stupidity. Okay? We need to phase out farm subsidies. This is supposed to be capitalism. If you can't make it, you go under, right? Same for all of the government subsidies. If your business isn't viable, it deserves to go down. Okay? We need to finish the job with Russia. Make sure it gets broken apart. Many of the regions there want to be autonomous anyway. They don't want Russia, but they kind of have a gun to their head. So let them be their own countries. We need to make sure we take the nukes away from Russia and don't let them have a standing army, it's just security forces, okay? No tax money should go to any college with a $1 billion endowment unless tuition is completely free. Tuition, living expenses, and books. If you have over $1 billion sitting in the bank, you are a hedge fund giving classes, okay? Ever notice how some of the biggest criminals and perverts come from the Ivy League? And the Ivy League, too, you need to start stripping degrees from people, especially when they're found guilty of some of the worst crimes in history. I think you know who I mean. And there's a lot of them out there. Okay? We need an all out war on abuse of all kinds, especially SA. Okay? And normalize decency again. Okay? Every time the police go to set up a sting at one of these things, their board will light up like a Christmas tree because this country is full of these pervs. Okay? So let's find them and let's get rid of them. Okay? Also, if you have a problem with gay people, you're probably gay. This is what we see again and again and again. Those who are complain the loudest end up being caught in a bathroom somewhere or wherever. So just anyway, straight people, straight men, they don't have a problem with gay people. They love us. We increase your odds. So just relax, okay? Okay. Next, we need to legalize weed nationwide. It's ridiculous that it's not. I mean, just ridiculous. Okay. We need to educate the public more on narcissism and how to take it on, which is basically no contact. If you're around a narcissist, okay, the only way to handle it is no contact, as if they're dead to you. Okay, they've shown you who they are. They don't care about you, so don't care about them. Okay, don't give them their fuel is you getting upset. So don't let them have that. Okay, just look them straight in the eye and say, whatever. Okay. People need to grow up. Okay. They want to be infantilized. They want very simple solutions for very complex problems, like children. Okay. No, it didn't come from whatever in the sky or this or that or the anything. Okay. We need to abolish ICE and put them all in the jails and the concentration camps that they built to put us in. Okay. That's where we put them. We need to erase Trump's name from everything. We need to rehire anyone wrongly fired by Musk and Trump. And we need to do background checks on all current government employees. It's just necessary, people. And we have to fire any Trump or Republican loyalist who's gumming up the works. And that is cause if they're gumming up the works. Okay? The president from now on shall not be allowed to build or tear down any building without congressional approval, or they go directly to jail. To blame the billionaires and the corporations and our politicians for the mess we find ourselves in here. Okay? They are the ones who slow walked us into this, including the media. Okay? We also need to prosecute all these billionaire fredophiles, if you know what I mean, and strip them of their wealth. The victims come first, but then any leftover money goes right to help the people. Okay? We need to work towards decommodifying healthcare and housing and electricity and internet, water, sewer, and even cell phones. These are now items that are necessary to live. So we need to think about doing something to make sure that everyone has them. Okay? Finally, in closing, I have a few final decrees. Okay. First of all, we need to build a new Antifa headquarters. Okay. Um, we can fund it like Trump funded his ballroom. Okay. The one, the headquarters we have now, it's just not big enough. We need something bigger and more impressive, right? I mean, come on, we're taking over the world, right? So let's do it right, okay? Nice, big Antifa, really bigly Antifa headquarters, okay? Also, mandatory drag shows for every U.S. male citizen. And finally, no tax on drag queen earnings. In other words, drag queens, you can go out and make as much money as you want. No taxes, zero. That includes you, RuPaul. So, anyway, feel free to cut, paste, and share this video with anyone you want. And uh, the list is in my description. Okay. Add your own comments and send the list to your congressmen or people that you know, and let our leaders know that this is what we're looking for. Okay. I've compiled a playlist of videos called Sanity. Okay. Some of the points I made in this video are gleaned from that information. Um, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and please check out some of my other videos and posts and playlists. Okay. Thank you for staying till the bitter end. Have a great day, and thank you for coming to court. You've been dismissed.